You know, when we were starting this podcast, I was, kind of waking myself up and slapping myself in the face. It's like, oh, this is just one of those weeks where, like, I don't want to do this today.
Dale Jr. told you what?
He's like, hey, man, you're just going to have weeks where you don't want to do it. And I'm like, yep, well, this is my first one. I don't know what episode we're on, but I don't have a whole lot of motivation. A lot of that stems around my race, and it stems around having the fastest car in Richmond again and not winning. And not only not winning, but finishing 20th. Just so agitated. I'm agitated. Even, I was super agitated after the race. Honestly, me and my crew chief had some disagreements and stuff about some things. And, I think that's healthy, by the way. I think that it's good to every now and again, to challenge each other to do better. And I actually like it when he challenges me as a driver to be better with my skill set, my technique. That's what makes me better, right? He opens my eyes to, and I think that really he revamped my career in 2019 with challenging me in different ways to be a better race car driver. And, certainly things didn't pan out for us on the 11 car. We came back from a pit road penalty, the first pit road penalty. And it's crazy. I knew before the race, I was like, if I have a very good car, which I'll know probably in 10 to 15 laps of the race, all I need to do is chip away a couple spots here and there and no mistakes, and we'll win the race. I just feel that confident in my skill set at that racetrack and the techniques I use. I get a speeding penalty right off the bat, first pit stop. That came from, so the pit road has bends to it. So the first, I think, 4 sections of pit road is curved. So NASCAR does their pit road speed based on the very inside of that curve. So you actually can run well above pit road speed if you're running up where you're supposed to by the wall.
It takes you longer to get from segment to segment?
Yes, it takes you longer, so your speed is higher, right? And they're pretty conservative with, how they do the pace car speed anyway. So we have it down to a pretty good science of how much extra we can speed in certain sections. But down at the end of pit road where it curves again, right around pit box 10 or so, Michael McDowell was my mark on the pit exit I can then speed up. Well, Joey Logano, he left his pit stall and he gassed it up real quick, trying to get, beat me off pit road. And I gassed up real quick to get back even with him. And it was before my Michael McDowell mark where I can start to speed again. And so I knew that I was, busted before. But my team made a great call again to go long. I think we pitted 7 laps later and but we went through the field. We started that run 14th, and I got probably half of those back on the restart. I got 3 or 4 positions there, and then just started going through the field. And I knew like my car was so freaking strong, but we won the stage, and then we got control of the race at that point. Like at that point, it's so frustrating because it's our race to lose, because once you put the fastest car out front, which I was very certain we had the fastest car, us in the 19 I thought were head and shoulders over the rest of the field, and neither one of us win. It's so frustrating, but we just both lost it on pit road in a different kind of manner. Like we had I came in first on the green flag pit stop, had a 22-second stop, which is like the less than 1 percentile of pit stop times in our whole series. Luckily for me, though, what would have been a bigger detriment was that right front tire changer not go back and re-tighten that right front tire. And then I have a flat tire or the wheel comes off, then I have suspension or I think it's a 2-lap penalty now. At least he recognized that wheel's not tight. And although it took a long time for them to go back, rejack it up and retighten it, and it was 22 seconds, hey, I lost 12 seconds that run, that stop, and I went from leading the race to 11th. But yeah, it's just tough because all you have to do is execute once you get out there. And I thought that it was going to be smooth sailing from there. I never pushed my car one bit, and we just were fast. My team's just got a great setup for that racetrack, and pair that with how many laps I've got there, how many my technique there. Like we were going to be tough to beat, but before that, obviously have to address the JJ incident. It's very, very obvious, people, that I had no intention to wreck JJ Yeley. Why would I wreck JJ Yeley for 30th place? I was dead last in the back of the pack trying to make my way through. A caution didn't help us. I don't even think we pitted because we didn't have tires anyway, so it's not like I needed a caution. But I got pinched off, so I got to the outside of JJ off of turn 4. You could see that a little bit on the in-car camera. And I had somebody, I think the 38 or I don't know, 21, somebody on the outside of me, and he pinched me up into them. And so I checked up real quick, and I was like, "Damn it, JJ!" And so what I was trying to do was trying to get right behind him, and then go in the corner and show my left front, and kind of just get him wedged off the bottom, so I can just take the bottom on him because I couldn't complete the pass on the outside. But really, I went back and I couldn't realize because it happened so quick. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, how did I misjudge this that badly? And I looked at the data and I saw that JJ checked up about 100 feet early and got on the brake quite a bit sooner. But it's still my responsibility. Don't get it twisted. I'm not blaming JJ for any of this whatsoever. He's just out there trying to get a good finish for his team, and they've been making that 15 car quite a bit better. So I definitely am not one of those guys that tries to hurt one of the lower teams. I do my best to help lower teams all the time. But I just made a mistake, and I tried to drive in there right there on his bumper and then start to cut low, but I never even got to the cut low part because when I drove in there and I was up his ass anyway, as soon as he checked up, I just ran right in the back of him. And I slammed on the brakes as hard as I could. But it's just one of those deals that I fucked up, it certainly wasn't deliberate. I hate it for JJ. We were teammates together, JGR, early in my career. He's a great dude. And, I like everyone on that Rick Ware team. So, we were pitted right next to him, and, I knew JJ was going to be super pissed because when you're in his position, right, you're just trying to, make laps, make your program better, get a good finish that day, and all of a sudden you just get jacked from behind. He never even had a chance to catch the car because I went into him with such a rate of speed. But, I looked and I didn't drive it any differently than I had every other lap, but I was too close to him, and when he hit the brakes and I was still in the gas, it was game over for him. So apologize to them. I'll reach out to JJ and figure out, and or the team, and figure out if I can do anything to help them recover from this. So that's my bad.
I did think it was interesting on one of the camera angles on that long pit stop that you had. You said JJ was pitted in front of you. His team was either obviously they're disappointed, right, that their car gets wrecked, and you're leading the race and you're pitting. They were either happy that you guys had a bad pit stop, or they were like the away fans behind a basketball team, right? That guy's shooting a free throw, and they're trying to cause all this commotion to alter the result of the pit stop.
Well, you know what? One thing I do got to give props to is JJ, because I saw quotes from his crew chief that right after the wreck, they said to JJ, all right, let's get this car fixed and then go out there and get them. And JJ responded, why don't y'all just concentrate on getting the car fixed? Like, I appreciate that from him. And, again, what motivation do I have to wreck someone running 30th when I'm 31st. It didn't benefit me whatsoever. It just screwed their day up. So again, everyone makes mistakes. I say it every week, and I'm going to be the first to always admit when I feel like I totally had a blunder, and that was a dramatic blunder, just a huge miscalculation.
Speaking of Truex and how good he was all day, was it a miscalculation on their part to more or less run out of tires at the end of that race, strategy-wise?
Well, the way the race played out, what I noticed is that at Richmond, NASCAR's pretty scarce with their tire allotment, which sometimes it makes for pretty good strategy when you have to manage your tires. I think Xfinity Series at times gets very interesting because some people will pit, some will not, because they want to save tires for the end. Maybe there's a shootout, maybe not. But there was more cautions at the end of the race, and even at the beginning, I guess, from the JJ wreck, that some people decided to take tires, some did not. And typically that race goes green, the last stage, which that's the argument for my crew chief. When I kind of challenged him on strategy, he was like, look at the last X races here, right? They all go green.
That was his argument.
Yeah, and mine was like, let's make a call to win the race. The call is, I'm running 9th right at the end of the race. He was trying to get me a good or better finish by, giving me a strategy I could run 5th or 6th with. And, again, I'm in the heat of the moment, and I'm really upset about the day. And I'm like, give me a call to win the race. Either if you're running me long, run me all the way long. Or if you're going to run me short, run me way short. At the time, I was 5 seconds behind the leader. So that's about 2.5 laps or 3 laps I needed to pit before the leaders, and I would have been the leader. And then if I got 2 or 3 lap older tires than the leader, good luck passing me. I'll be honest with you. Like, I just think that I would have had a really good shot, but the caution came out, and either one of those strategies, Josh Berry had that strategy of staying out. Either one of them will work, but when you think about it, you got to think about it from the team standpoint. They can't guess for a unknown caution, right? So they're going to make the solid play to get the solid finish. Me at home, I want to win. 20th, 6th doesn't matter to me. Like the speeding penalty at the end I had, I'm running 13th, guys. Like I'm trying to get to 11th. So where I should have finished is like 11th, 12th, something like that. But I finished 20th because I'm pushing on pit road to try to get back some of these spots that we lost throughout the day. And so, the second penalty, it wasn't meaningless. It was it cost me probably 8-9 spots on my finishing position, which they all matter. Like all these points matter, but I'm just hot under the collar because I'm trying to get to a win total, and if you're going to do it, you're going to have to execute perfectly. All these races from here to the end of my career, whenever that is. And I just feel like, damn it, we've had so many races where if we just can control the race on pit road, we will win them. And things haven't worked out. But it's tough because JGR, I thought, had the dominant cars. The Toyota, I thought, were dominant cars, especially in the long run. And to not have any of them winning, it forces us to kind of look at us and figure out how we can get better for sure.
Yeah, I put you off on a tangent there, but the Truex stuff with the tires you were mentioning.
Yeah, so he had to pit, and if you didn't notice, he had to pit at the end and put on scuffed tires. So he was on 6-lap tires at the end, and everyone around him was on brand new tires. So he must have pitted sometime throughout the day, maybe on the early pit, and didn't have tires left. So, it's a tough thing for Truex. It's right before the race during the driver intros. I asked Truex, says, "We gonna get back to our winning ways today?" He's like, "Damn, I hope so, man. It's been miserable." So, man, I know he's frustrated. He's as frustrated as I am right now for sure. And we're about to go into our JGR meeting and hash it all out here in a couple hours. But yeah, it's just we mess up and the Hendrick guys execute. The 5 car was nothing special by any means, but he had executed a great day. He had one incident on pit road I saw with a 99, probably cost them a second, maybe two. But so many of these races are won by teams just not fucking up. And it's something that certainly I got to clean up on my end. I got plenty to look in the mirror at, to get better at. And I want to get back to winning because these finishes are unacceptable, especially the way we're running. I know a media member asked me this weekend, hey, you got the second best average running position of anyone in the field. You're 11th in points. Can you explain that? I said, yeah, green, white checkers. I've lost so many freaking spots at the green and white checkers, but this race was just an absolute disaster from a execution standpoint, especially on my end.
Yeah, Truex's last win was actually at Richmond 50 races ago, September 11th, 2021.